Something is off about tomorrow's full moon, and you're about to feel it. Everyone loves to talk about full moons like they're magical portals for manifesting dreams and attracting positive vibes, but that's not the whole story. Yes, full moons can have a lot of benefits, but the energy swirling around right now isn't soft, and if you're not careful, it could throw your entire spiritual balance off track. You might think you're aligning with the universe, but what if the actions you're taking are actually blocking your growth? What if, without even realizing it, you're opening doors to energies you don't want lingering in your space? And here's the scary part. You might already be doing it without even knowing. This full moon is hitting different, especially if you're spiritually sensitive. If you've been in a phase of isolation or deep self-reflection, you're going to feel this even more. The energy is turned all the way up, and it's not just affecting you, it's bouncing off everyone. Being around crowds right now is like plugging into an overloaded power grid. You're going to absorb everything, the stress, the anxiety, the chaos, and it'll leave you feeling completely drained, emotionally scrambled, maybe even physically sick. Empaths, healers, spiritually attuned souls, you're on high alert. The emotional noise of the people around you will cling to your aura like static, and you might find yourself feeling off for days without knowing why. But there's something even deeper going on with this energy. And if you're not paying attention, it could pull you into a spiral you didn't see coming. I'll do it tomorrow. Sounds harmless, right? Not under this full moon. This isn't just any lunar phase. This moon's energy is sticky. Procrastination right now isn't just putting things off. It's inviting stagnation straight into your life. The moment you say, "Oh, I'll handle it later," you're locking yourself into a cycle of delay that could stretch way longer than you expect. The universe is moving fast, but if you're not moving with it, it will leave you behind. And here's the wild part. You might not even realize it's happening. You'll wake up days, weeks later, wondering why you're stuck in the same place, why things feel off, like nothing's clicking. It's because when the moon's energy peaks like this, timing is everything. If something's important, if there's that one task you've been pushing off, do it now. Don't let this moon turn your momentum into molasses, because once that energy shifts, it's going to be so much harder to get things moving again. The full moon doesn't wait for you to catch up. It keeps spinning, whether you're ready or not. And if you think putting things off is just harmless laziness, you might be walking straight into an energetic trap. Let's be real. Not all reflection is healing. Under this full moon, it's so easy to fall into the trap of thinking you're doing deep spiritual work when really you're just overthinking. This moon amplifies everything, your emotions, your thoughts, your doubts. It'll pull old wounds to the surface and make them feel fresh again. But that doesn't mean you're actually processing them. Some people confuse spiraling thoughts with growth. But guess what? Replaying the same problem in your head isn't healing. It's just mental noise. The moon's energy makes it feel like you're digging deep, but really you're just stuck in the same loop over and over again. Healing isn't about rehashing your past until it feels familiar. It's about moving through it, not circling around it. If you're finding yourself obsessing over the same issues, questioning every little thing, feeling like you need to fix something inside you, pause. This isn't clarity. This is the moon tricking you into believing that thinking more will solve your problems. But here's the kicker. The more you get trapped in this overthinking spiral, the harder it becomes to break free. You'll convince yourself that you're doing the work, but in reality, you're just digging a deeper hole. And if you're not careful, that hole might just become your comfort zone. Everyone's emotions are on overdrive during this full moon, and guess what? They're coming straight for you. This is not the time to be everyone's therapist. When the moon is full like this, people start unloading their emotional baggage like it's a clearance sale. Friends, family, even that coworker who barely talks to you, suddenly everyone wants to vent, cry, or spill their latest drama. And if you're not careful, you'll end up carrying weight that isn't even yours. The full moon doesn't just light up the sky, it lights up people's chaos, and they'll want to dump it on you. Now, don't get me wrong, being supportive is great, but boundaries are your best friend right now. The full moon's energy is like a sponge. It makes you more receptive, more open, but that also means you're more likely to absorb other people's stress anxiety, and negativity. And once you take that on, it clings. You'll feel drained, irritable, maybe even physically tense, and you won't even know why. This moon makes emotional energy sticky. If you don't draw the line, you'll end up walking around feeling heavy, overwhelmed, like you're carrying a storm inside. But it's not even your storm. So here's the deal. Protect your peace. You can listen, but don't get pulled into someone else's emotional whirlpool. This isn't about being cold or distant. It's about recognizing that you can't pour from an empty cup. And if you're thinking, I can handle it, I'm strong enough, remember this? Strength isn't about how much you can carry. It's about knowing what to let go. Feeling the urge to make a bold move. Quit your job, end that relationship? Stop right there. This full moon's energy is tricky. It makes everything feel intense, urgent, like you need to act now or you'll miss your chance. But here's the truth. Your judgment is off. The emotional pull of this moon can create an illusion of clarity, making you feel like you've had some grand epiphany, when really you're just riding a wave of heightened emotions. The full moon doesn't reveal the truth. It magnifies your feelings. And feelings aren't facts. It's easy to mistake this emotional surge for certainty. You might feel like confronting someone, making a huge life change, or jumping headfirst into something new. But under this kind of energy, logic takes a back seat. Decisions made now might feel right in the moment, but give it a day or two, and you'll realize they were impulsive. Think of it like this. The full moon is a spotlight. It shines so brightly on one part of your life that everything else fades into the shadows. You're seeing things, but not the whole picture. And when you make decisions from that narrow perspective, you risk missing out on important details. So if you're feeling that itch to make a big move, pause. Let the energy settle. If that urge is still there in a couple of days, then maybe it's something worth acting on. But don't let this moon's intensity trick you into thinking every feeling needs immediate action. Big emotions don't always mean big truths. Sometimes they're just big distractions. Wait it out, let the dust settle. You'll thank yourself later. Everyone loves to think the full moon is the perfect time to ask the universe for signs. But what if I told you that the signs you're getting might not be real? This moon isn't just amplifying your intuition, it's amplifying everything. Your emotions, your fears, your hopes, and yeah, your imagination too. When the energy is this intense, it's easy to misread things. That random number on the clock, that weird dream you had last night. Under normal circumstances, maybe they'd mean something. But under this full moon, they could just be noise. The universe isn't always speaking to you. Sometimes it's just an echo of your own mind. The danger here is that people start chasing illusions. You're feeling emotional, so you want to see signs. You want validation. And that's when you start twisting every little thing into a message. But not every feather on the ground, not every flickering light is a divine signal. Sometimes it's just life happening. This full moon's chaotic energy can make you think you're getting clear guidance, when really you're just caught in a feedback loop of your own heightened emotions. And when you start acting on those false signs, that's when things get messy. You might end up making decisions based on pure fantasy, not reality. So if you're out here asking the universe for a sign, pause, take a breath, let the energy settle. If it's a real message, it'll still be there when things calm down. Not every whisper in the dark is a message from the stars. Sometimes it's just the wind. You think manifestation takes time? Not under this full moon. This moon is supercharged, and it's turning your thoughts into reality faster than you think. And here's where it gets tricky. This doesn't just apply to the positive stuff. Your fears, your anxieties, your self-doubts, they're on the fast track too. The universe isn't picky. It'll manifest what you focus on, good or bad. If you're sitting there worrying about everything that could go wrong, guess what? You're giving that energy a front row seat in your life. This moon is like a cosmic amplifier, and whatever you're thinking about, it's getting cranked up to max volume. So if you're focused on negative outcomes, don't be surprised when things start feeling heavy, chaotic, or downright unlucky. But here's the good news. You can flip the script. The same way negative thoughts can spiral out of control, positive ones can explode into opportunities. The key is being mindful of where your focus goes. You don't have to fake happiness or ignore real problems, but don't let your mind camp out in fear either. Where your attention goes, energy flows. And this full moon moves fast. So if you catch yourself spiraling, pause, reframe, shift your focus to what you want, not what you're afraid of. Because under this moon, your thoughts aren't just passing through, they're shaping your reality. You think the full moon's intensity ends when the night is over? Think again. Tomorrow you might wake up feeling drained, foggy, or just off. That's not random. The full moon doesn't just flood the sky with light, it floods you with energy. And when the flood recedes, you feel the crash. Here's the thing. During the full moon, your body and mind are processing way more than you realize. Emotionally, you've been on high alert. Thoughts racing, emotions heightened, energy buzzing like static in the air. But once that lunar energy peaks and starts to fade, it leaves behind this weird emptiness, like your system doesn't know what to do with itself anymore. It's not just tiredness. It's deeper than that. You might feel emotionally flat, like the spark that was driving you suddenly disappeared. Or maybe you feel irritated for no reason, snapping at people or feeling overwhelmed by the smallest things. Some people even feel physically off, headaches, muscle tension, or that weird, heavy sensation like you're dragging yourself through the day. And if you've been emotionally charged during the full moon, whether it's excitement, anxiety, or deep reflection, tomorrow might feel like an emotional hangover. That's because your nervous system was running at full speed and now it's crashing down to earth. Imagine running a marathon you didn't even realize you signed up for and waking up the next day wondering why you can't move. But here's where it gets tricky. A lot of people mistake this moon hangover for something bigger, like thinking they're falling into a funk or that something's suddenly wrong with their life. But in reality, it's just the energetic come down. Your body and spirit are recalibrating after riding that intense wave of lunar energy. And don't be surprised if your dreams get weird too. Even after the full moon passes, your subconscious might still be working overtime, processing all that emotional and energetic clutter. Nightmares, vivid dreams, or restless sleep are all part of the package. But the good news? It won't last. This phase is temporary, and it's actually your body's way of balancing itself out. The more you fight it, pushing through, trying to force productivity, the worse it feels. If you're still watching, I'd like to thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed the content and want to see more, please consider clicking the subscribe button. Your support is very appreciated. Feel free to share your experiences or thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, take care and subscribe for more insightful content.